Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a video all on false eyelashes and how I apply them and the tips and tricks that I personally like to use when applying my false lashes. So today I'm going to demo two different ways that I apply my false eyelashes, and it's going to be, they're both, it's hard to explain, but they're both the same way, but just with one different change, if that makes sense. This is the easiest way I have found to apply false eyelashes. I can apply them with my fingers this way, or I can apply them with tweezers. So the pair of lashes I'm going to be using today are the Ardell Demi Pixies. I chose these ones just because I'm going for more of a natural look today, so I thought they would go the best. But this is the same way that I apply all of my false eyelashes, whether they are, you know, really big and really long, or if they are really natural. So I'm just going to get pretty much straight in. This is going to be a talk through tutorial. I've been doing a couple of these today. It's going to be a talk through tutorial on how I apply my false eyelashes and what I personally use when applying them. So if you want to see how I apply false eyelashes, then keep on watching. Okay, so I've zoomed you in so you can see exactly what I am doing. Today I'm going to be using the natural Demi Pixie lashes, and I'm just going to take them out of the box so they are ready. So I'm going to be using the Demi Pixies by Ardell. I'm going to be using Duo Lash Adhesive from Duo, but I got this one from M.A.C. I wouldn't say that this is a must-have favourite for me. I have just recently ordered the House of Lashes glue, so I'm waiting for that one to arrive. But I'm just going to show you how I apply them with this so far. And I've also just got a cheap pair of tweezers. I have my tweezers that I use to pluck my eyebrows, and then I have this sort of cheaper pair that I got to apply my false eyelashes. So I don't mind if these get clogged up with lash glue, but I mind if my Tweezerman ones get clogged up with lash glue. So much to talk about. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to curl my eyelashes, and as you can see I've applied a wing and my eyeshadow on both eyes. So I'm just going to curl my eyelashes, so I'm getting nice and close to the root of the lash. And I pulse. I sometimes hold it. It's supposed to hold the curl better if you hold it down. I pulse. I hold it. I don't really have one particular way on how I curl my eyelashes, but it's just nice to get them curled because mine are quite straight. So I find if I don't curl them before I apply false eyelashes and mascara, they just point out and they just look really, like, you can tell I'm wearing false eyelashes. So I'm going to do two different ways of how I apply my false eyelashes. So as you can see, I've applied liquid liner. I tend to apply liner when I am applying my eyelashes, and I try and get the liner as close to the lash base as I possibly can achieve. So what I'm going to do is apply mascara on only one of my eyes. So this is the difference between the two techniques that I use. So I just go in, this is the Maybelline The Rocket Volume Express mascara, and I'm just going to apply just a good coat on my lashes so they are prepped. And that is the difference. I'm just going to apply mascara to my bottom lashes just while I've got the mascara open. So just make sure that they're nicely coated and every lash has some mascara on it. And I try and keep them quite separated, but obviously with mascara they do tend to clump up quite a bit. So that is the one difference that I do. Sometimes I apply mascara before I apply my false eyelashes, and sometimes I don't. So that is the difference between these two tips that I'm going to show you. So I'm going to just go in with my Duo Lash Adhesive. I'm just going to apply a blob to the back of my hand. I have found this is the best way to apply this lash glue to my lashes. If I apply it straight from the tip, I find it bursts, like it blows bubbles and it bursts and it gets glue all over my lashes. So this is a very controlled way of applying a non-brush on eyelash glue. So I've now just picked up one of my lashes, and these are nice and clean. I have worn them a couple of times, but I clean them in between so they are nice and ready for application. So these are just the lashes, just like so. So they're quite natural, a bit flary. And what the main thing you want to do when you are applying false eyelashes is measure them to your eye. So you want to place them on the eye without any eyelash glue or anything. When they are first new, they do have a little bit of tackiness to them as is, but I can sort of tell that they are the right size for my eye. I have trimmed these before, but if you measure your eyelashes and they are too long for your eye, you want to trim them from the end which has the most hair on. So this end, that end is going to be in like right in that inner corner. So if you trim there, you're going to get longer hairs then. It's going to look less natural and you're going to be able to tell that you're wearing false eyelashes. So you want to always trim from the outside end unless there is like a lot of short hairs on the inside. Then yeah, you can trim some of them off, but you always want to leave shorter hairs on that inner corner bit because it will look more natural and it won't stab you in the eye and feel uncomfortable. So after you've trimmed them and they are ready for your eye, mine are not in like a really good shape at the moment. They're not really in an eye shape, and that is because I have cleaned them from when I last used them. So I'm just going to show you how I apply the glue. So the glue's on the back of my hand, just getting the end of the tweezers. I'm just getting some on the end of my tweezers. I'm then just going to run the glue along the lashes, and I'm going to apply like a bit more on the end. So let me just zoom in. So it's like a nice thin coat all over the eyelashes. So then what I do is I just wipe off that tweezers because I want it nice and clean. This is one of the most important things. I think I said that already, that is an important thing. But one of the most important things is you need to let this dry from between 30 to 60 seconds. This is going to ensure that the glue is tacky and it's not going to be falling all over the eye area, and you don't want it ruining all of the eyeshadow and all the work that you've applied already. So you need to allow this to dry. Because this has been cleaned and it's sort of lost its shape, I do tend to like to bend the edges to make them more rounded like an eye shape. I just do it very gently while the glue is drying because then it will hold the glue best. But why you want to allow your glue to dry is because it's going to get tacky. So then when you apply it on your eye, it's going to stick in that place. Convenient ice cream there, just beautiful. It was thunder this morning. Okay, so you want it to get tacky, so when you first apply it onto your eye, it's going to stay where you placed it. When the glue hasn't dried properly, then it will move all over your eye and it will ruin your base work. So you can normally tell that the glue is drying because it changes colour. So I don't know if you can see, it's sort of gone a bit more cleary white. It's nowhere near as white as what it was. So I'm just going to let it dry a little bit more because I want them end bits to dry, because when you apply it to the inner corner and the outer corner, you want them to stay as well. So now that it is dried a little bit more, I'm just going to get a compact mirror so it's a bit closer to me. So this is the same technique that I'm going to use on both eyes. You want to look down, so you want to place your mirror so it is underneath, so you are looking down. This is going to ensure that you get the false eyelashes as close to your real ones as humanly possible. So I've just placed it down, and as you can see, it's tacky, so it has stayed in place. So now, again, just nicely looking down, you're just placing it. I always find that these inner corner bits do tend to flick up, so I tend to hold them and just nip them against the eyelashes just so it sort of blends in with the eyelashes and it's not sticking up, and as it's starting to dry it's blending in with the natural lashes. So I'm kind of looking down and I'm now just pinching the false lashes with my real lashes. This is just going to help blend everything and make it look nice and natural like they are our eyelashes. So those ones applied. So I'm just going to move on and do the exact same technique on this other eye. So I'm just going to get the lash, get some more glue. So we're just applying it. Ooh. Don't know if you can actually even see this. Make sure you apply more to the corners because they're the ones that are going to sort of flick up and look really obvious that you have false eyelashes. So again, we're just going to let this dry until it turns a little bit more clear and a little bit more tacky. So again, I'm just gently pulling the edges up to round the eyelashes a little bit more so it sits nicely on my eye. So when you first apply your eyelashes, you can feel them. I tend to feel them for about 30 minutes and then they're just really comfortable and I don't feel them anymore. So it's already sort of starting and it's only been on like 2 minutes, 5 minutes maybe, and they are already starting to get comfortable. You want to just, or I always just go under and make sure that the lashes are sort of facing up, so they're fanning up. It's just going to help lift your eye and keep it nice and awake, because if you apply your lashes and they're sort of drooping down, they're going to make your eyes droop and look really tired. So I always make sure that the lashes are just, you know, nicely placed. They're sort of nicely flicking up and opening up the eye. So I'm just waiting for this to dry a little bit more. Now it's starting to get tacky. So again, I'm looking down and I'm placing the lash in the middle of the eye first, and then I'm going inwards, and last of all I'm placing that edge lash, and then I'm just going to go in, make sure everything's nicely connected, and I'm just sort of going to start nipping the false lashes and the real lashes together ever so gently, because you don't want to nip the skin, because obviously that is going to be really painful if you end up doing that. But again, you can see they're nicely open and fanning. Okay, so after you've applied them, you just want them to sort of sit there for a little while. I just tend to go back over and just start nipping the lashes together. I'll get my compact mirror out again, otherwise I'm going to blind myself. Just nipping them together just to make sure that they're nice and blended and that the glue is drying them in the right places. Just going to go back over this one. This one is easier to do this because obviously there is no mascara on the lashes and you don't feel like you're going to be pulling out any hairs. So now what I do is I tend to go in with different mascara, and I tend to go in with my M.A.C Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara, just because this is so easy to come off, so I can reuse my lashes over and over again by applying this. So I applied my Maybelline waterproof one on first so it doesn't touch the lashes anyway. So I'm just going to go over these lashes and just sort of stick the product mostly on my own lashes, just so I'm not like caking up the falsies with mascara, because obviously the falsies are the lashes that you want just like so. So I'm sort of focusing the product more on the root of the lash and just in the lash. I'm not pulling it up and putting it all through my lashes, although it probably looks like I am. And then on this one I just tend to run a little bit through just to blend them together. But yeah, if I do get mascara, which obviously I'm going to get mascara on the falsies, then it's so much easier to get this one off than it is to get the Rocket Volume Express mascara off. So you can see a bit of a difference. Like these ones look a little bit more wispy because I applied the mascara first, but these ones look like nice and sort of open and natural. So you can see like an ever so slight difference. I just find like if I apply my mascara first, and they look a little bit more wispy, a little bit more dramatic than if I apply the mascara after. It's probably just because of like the mascaras that I use. So 9 times out of 10, the clear glue that I use is not going to completely go clear and you're not going to be able to see it. So what I do next is I go back in with a felt tip liner. So even if I use a gel liner to actually line my eyes in the first place, I will go in with a felt tip liner. This one is amazing. It's the Master Precise Liquid Eyeliner. It's got such a fine point to it and I've really been loving this, especially for that sort of inner corner work. But it is really nice to also get all along the lash line. So just closing the eye that I'm working on. I'm just going over anywhere that the glue is kind of visible, and it just re-blackens up that line and it just fills everything in. It just looks a lot more natural. So you can't see that there's like glue there and a band there really. And so I just do the same on the other side, obviously closing this eye there. And it's just going in and getting rid of any evidence that there is glue there, that there is false lashes there, anything like that. I'm trying to stick as close as I can to the lashes, obviously, in the lash line to make it as black as possible. So that is how I apply my false eyelashes. Like I said, it's the same technique, but I do it 2 ways. So you'll see in my videos that sometimes I apply my mascara before and sometimes after. It's literally the same technique and it just looks a little bit more wispy when the mascara is applied first, but it looks really natural and you really like see the false eyelashes when you just apply mascara afterwards. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you found this helpful. You can use this technique with any false eyelashes that you have out there. I've got some House of Lashes and the phone's ringing. Awesome. It's just awesome. Yeah, I'm getting some House of Lashes arriving soon. I can't wait to use the iconic. It is like completely raved about and I'm sure this technique will work. If I find another technique, then I will make another video or I will include it in one of my tutorials. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. And yeah, so this is a really easy way to apply eyelashes. I would definitely say that you need to, like, it is a must to let your glue get tacky because it's just going to make it work a lot better and make your eyelashes be placed where you want them to be put and they're going to stay there. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned some new tips and tricks and I will talk to you all very, very soon.